Hi, Clayton. It's Don Elliott. I was calling to get some more information about using the Burr method. I have a few homes that we have talked about, and most of these homes are paid in full. And I wanted to know, with your help, of course, and your teachings, I was wondering, should I pull the equity out of these homes and refinance them to build my portfolio? Or should I sell some of these homes to move out of the area and buy in better areas? I know it's generational income, but some of these homes are, they're older. And if I sell them, I can buy maybe a little bit better area and not as much maintenance. Anyway, look forward to your advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Don. Don is great. He's one of our longtime listeners here, client, fantastic gentleman. So, Don, thank you for the question. It's always nice to hear a familiar voice. So, thank you for that. So, Don, great question. So, a couple of things to unpack here. The answer is yes. Yes, you always want to be looking at your portfolio and deciding whether or not you should sell. Okay. Yes. And the answer is yes. Also, should I refinance, pull out some money out of these properties and purchase new properties? And then, of course, your umbrella question is around the Burr method, right? Buying a property, renovating a property, refinancing a property to pull out the equity, and then repeating the process, and so I'm a huge fan of that, especially it sounds like you had some older properties that you renovated and that you are cash flowing, but there's a lot, deferred maintenance. There's some issues with the properties. They're older. So now you're wondering, okay, these things have appreciated to a point. Do I want to take money out of them and buy additional properties? Or because they're older and they've got problems and they've got some more maintenance that I'm going to have to sink some more money into, should I sell them and reinvest that elsewhere? So again, this is one of those things where if you purchased properties that were in like C or even D class neighborhoods and now it's appreciated and the neighborhood's gotten a lot better and businesses have grown and crime has gone down and it's now moved in from a D to a C or a C to a B, and that property is appreciated nicely, new school districts are opening, new jobs, new businesses, better tax benefits, all of that, right? That's how neighborhoods improve, right? Or they go the opposite direction, right? So if it's the case now that you've like jumped up a whole class and therefore your properties have like we just actually sold, my wife and I just sold a few of ours that made sense because they really, I mean, just the appreciation was not commensurate with the rent anymore. They just jumped up in value so much that it didn't make sense at what they're rented for us to not take that money and reinvest it into other brand new construction properties, which is what we did, or which is what we're doing. So it's one of those things where I want you just got to sit down with your portfolio, Don, and just look at and say, okay, what are the dogs on my list and what are the gems like this now that have really exploded? And this is not, this is part of this advice comes to me from Robert Kiyosaki, who told me that when he'll look at his portfolios, if he notices, there are ones in there that have just appreciated so much that they just don't make sense from a cash flow perspective anymore. They make more sense for him to 1031 exchange those properties into another like and kind asset. Maybe take that one property and then roll it into 10 properties, or take that one property and roll it into 3 properties. So for any of you who aren't familiar with the 1031 exchange process, we have full videos here on how that process works. But essentially, you're taking a property, you have to find a like or kind property that you have to trade it for. So Don, you would sell that property that now has appreciated nicely. And then I'm going to take those profits, so I don't pay capital gains on it, through a 1031 exchange. And I'm going to identify 2 or 3 properties now with that money. And it could be just down payment money, so you're just using that for down payments, but you're finding and acquiring, whether it's, brand new construction properties in A-class neighborhoods and things like that. And so you want to assess that. But if it hasn't appreciated that much where it makes sense for you to sell the property and to go through a 1031 exchange, and you feel like, well, just a little bit of maintenance here and I'm back on track and it's still a great cash flow, the cash flow makes sense for me, and it's not totally out of whack, or it's way overappraised in value now, but the rent is still down here, maybe you keep it, right? And then you think about doing doing a home equity line of credit on a portfolio of those properties, or it could be a cash out refinance. Although my opinion about cash out refinances, I'd much rather have that revolving home equity line of credit available for you to be able to roll into buying additional properties. So it really just comes down to the numbers again, without being emotional about it. So look at the numbers, look at the demographics too, though, because that's an important component of this. It's not just the cash flow and it's not just the maintenance piece. I also want you to really consider the neighborhood. Does it make more sense on a retail market for you to sell that at retail and make bank on it? You may have bought it years ago, you fixed it up, and now it's just exploded. It's not really a rental street anymore. It's much more of a families living on that street. So now it might make sense for you to just take that money and run, sell that puppy or those few properties and roll that into like or kind better assets that are new construction, where you can also then get the tax benefits through cost segregation. I think you're an active real estate investor, so you're a real estate professional, I think, Don, if memory serves, which means taking advantage of that cost segregation analysis, especially for your taxes. So you're basically getting that entire down payment back for free on your taxes. So some things to consider, and we've certainly done that. We've looked at properties that have appreciated nicely. It just didn't make sense to sell them, though. Like, it really made sense for us to keep them. And then others, they shot up significantly, and it just made sense for us to sell them and to take those profits and roll them into additional brand new construction properties. So I hope that makes sense, Don. Great hearing your voice. I hope at least I pointed you in the right direction. I apologize if I didn't, but that's my goal. Book a call with us. You can go to morrisinvest.com if you're ready to take that real estate investing journey. We're happy to jump on the phone with you for 30 minutes for free and map out your financial freedom roadmap, and then point you in the right direction. So just go to our website, morrisinvest.com, and you can click on the little voicemail button down there on the right-hand side of your screen too, so you can leave us a 30-second voicemail here on the show, and we will attempt to answer it next time. Now go out there, everyone. Take action. Become a real estate investor. I believe it's the number one way to build wealth. We'll see you next time.